It's coming up for the end of the semester. Maybe some of you haven't yet noticed that someone is speaking on a microphone and it's time to start listening. Some of you have, I appreciate that. Anyway, the ASB and I wanted to give you some time to start thinking before your finals and the big pressure crunch at the end of the semester about what really keeps you going, what motivates you, what inspires you, and what's really important. And so that's part of why we're here. This week there's going to be some activities towards the end of the week as well. But today we are bringing you a speaker, and his name is Keith Hawkins. Keith Hawkins is a national youth speaker that addresses over 400,000 students, educators, business owners, and parents each year. Keith has addressed the United Nations Global Summit. He's been interviewed by Time Magazine, is featured in a national communication book called Between One and Many, and co-authored the books entitled Teen Power and Beyond and Go Mad. Keith has dedicated his life and work to improving the human race by helping them strive for personal change in their lives. And today Keith is here at Leigh speaking about how we can keep some of those pressures and things in our lives from dampening our inspiration and making us feel like less capable. So please welcome one of our country's top youth speakers, Keith Hawkins.
All right. First of all, I want to say thank you. Last assembly was incredible. What I was impressed with was just the number of maturity. Students were being very mature, listening, but also having some fun. When I first heard about Leigh High School, I've never been here before, and didn't know when I looked around what the culture was about. The last assembly really helped me out. When I got here this morning, I was excited, but to be honest, I also was looking at the whole theme of the week. So when Miss Adams said it's motivational week, I got a little nervous because I was like, man, I'm gonna be their first speaker. They don't usually get speakers here, and you chose me. And I was kind of nervous because I was thinking, I don't do the motivational thing. Like, I'm not the motivational speaker. I don't get in front of the family. I call y'all the family because we're family, okay? God bless America, we're family. So I'm gonna call y'all family. First of all, I just said I'm gonna call y'all family, and some of y'all looked around like this. We don't even look alike. Please look over here and watch this. I'm gonna say some things. Please do not take it personal. Bay Area, don't take it personal. When I say some things, I might say Q-tip. That means quit taking it personal. So if I say something, I want you to be strong. I want you to know who you are. Don't take it personal. I'm gonna give you an example of personal. I was in 24-hour fitness and I was shaving. And this man walks up to me. I didn't even know he was old. He just walks up to me and I'm shaving, minding my own business, and I took it personal. He said something, he goes like this. Hey, you know, you wasted a lot of water. And I was wasting water. I should have been like, oh, I'm sorry. I took it personal. I looked at that man like this. No, you should, it's 24-hour fitness. I said this to him. Teachers, don't judge me. I was like this. Do you know how many kids are dying in cities every day? Who says that? Why would you say that? That poor man looked at me like this. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I felt so bad. I was going to the locker room. I was holding on to being right. I was like, yeah. I sat down, I was like this. Really, bro? Dying in cities? Why would you say that to that old man? Then I started thinking of karma. You believe in karma? I was like this. Oh no, something bad about to happen to me. I was going to my car. I was like, oh no, I better drive slow. I don't want to get a ticket. I was driving to Stockton, California. I was like, oh, I was in prayer mode. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got to that school, 3,500 students. I walked in that school in Edison. I looked at all those students. I was so worried about karma. The first thing I said was this: stop wasting water. Those kids are like, dang, where did we get him? Teacher's like, oh no, he didn't. I'm gonna say some things, please don't take it personal. Q-tip. Quit taking it personal. Because if you take it personal, it might be because it's the truth. I just called y'all my family. And y'all looked at me like this. We don't look alike. It don't matter. You know what? I didn't even know you didn't have a lot of people who look like me at this school. I didn't even know that until last assembly. I felt like a chocolate chip and a cookie. I can tell the seniors are like, yeah! The juniors are like, yeah! I got kids in there going, he said chocolate chip. Yeah, but I also called you my family. Hey, and I got family. I got 3 kids. Any, many, mighty, there won't be no more. I got a freshman daughter now. I got to pray for me. Pray for me. Q-tip. Don't be looking at the young lady. Why should we pray? Because he got a... She has changed so much. She used to be so sweet. I used to come home. She had a song in 7th grade. We love our daddy. We love her. Now she just looks at me. Now she stares. I gotta come to high school and ask senior and junior girls what's wrong. Help me raise my child. I'm asking girls like, hey, my daughter, she just looks at me. The high school girl's like, she good? Nah, she don't even say anything to me. Oh, no, she cool. Well, is she mad? Maybe. Should I help her? No. I asked a girl in New York, I said, what should I do? They go, take her shopping. I go, I don't even shop. They're like, that's why you need to take her shopping. My baby girl had a friend over, Kate. Love me some Kate, little blonde-haired Kate, I love her. They're at the house, woke up early in the morning, I made them waffles, true story. This summer I made them waffles. When I was done making them waffles, they were about to go outside, and I looked at my daughter, I go, where you guys going? She goes, oh, we're gonna go down the street to Ashley's. I said, you ain't even dressed yet. She goes, I am dressed. I go, did you wear it at the bed? She goes, yeah. I said, you cannot go outside wearing that. We got neighbors. She goes, Daddy, why do you always say that? There's nothing wrong with what I'm wearing. Teachers, I'm looking at her like this. What are you wearing? She goes, shorts. I go, shorts? Karen, come on, man. That looks like a belt. Her friend Kate goes like this. Kate was like this. She was like, this is sorry. She looked at me, she goes, then she started whispering to Cambria in my house. And I go like this, what you say, Kate? She goes, did you say that Cambria's shorts look like a belt? I said, yes, I did. She goes, why would you say that? This is your daughter. I said, daughter? Hey, that's my baby. I got 2 boys. When they get older, they gotta move. She can stay. And that's the truth. She can stay. They gotta move. I said, this is my baby. She goes, my dad would never say that to me. I looked at her, true story, you know it's true, because here's the next words. I said, I know he would. She goes, what does that mean? I said, Kate, I don't think your dad would tell you about your shorts. But in this house, family says it in your face, while all these other people are saying it behind your back. You ain't wearing those. Oh, look at, I got people in here right now going, damn man, sounds like my dad. Please look over here. Hey, y'all laughing, but guess what? So now you talk about family. I'm calling y'all family now. So I get to say some things that I say to my family. I get to get up here and tell the truth. I was at a school the other day. I had 700 freshmen. Seniors, where you at with my seniors? Where you at, baby? Oh, I needed you. I was at a school, I was like this. I wasn't even preaching, but I was like, you gonna graduate with friends? To these freshmen. Then you gonna graduate with 1, maybe 2 real friends. I saw this young lady in the corner. Sure enough, she's looking at me like she knew more. She goes like this to her friends. I was like, I said, you are gonna graduate with 1, maybe 2 real friends. This girl was in a course, she goes like this. I could see her mouth, she was lip syncing. She goes, "We'll see." I wish you were there, you go like this. "You will see." Family, we're gonna be family today. I know this is motivational week, but can you imagine if I got out here and was a motivational speaker? Can you imagine if I came to this school and got out here and started going like this? Be positive. Think positive. If you fall in life, get back up. Be positive. Come on, man, you laughing with me. Hey, don't be telling me that. Did you see your teachers walk in? Can you imagine if I got up here and said, be positive? Your teachers will be looking at me like this. Be positive? Come on, man, we work with teenagers. Be positive? Shoot, what is that, a blood type? Be positive? Wait, you laugh? Can y'all go home and look at your homework and think positive? Wait, one girl woke up. No! Can you imagine coming here on Wednesday to a teacher? Here's my homework. And he look at you like this? Hey man, you should have turned it in last week. It would have helped out your... Oh, what is this? It's my homework. There is nothing on here I thought positive. I'll say it this way. The reason why we ain't had a speaker here in 5 years, at least 5 years, because last time they had him, they realized this: motivation didn't come from a speaker. Motivation don't even come from a teacher. Motivation don't come from a coach. Motivation don't come from a parent. Motivation is a feeling. Motivation is temporary. You ever see people motivated for an hour, maybe a week, maybe a class period? It isn't even, motivation is a feeling, and ladies, don't beat me up. Feelings don't always tell you the truth. Oh my goodness, there's a beautiful, this woman, she's just drop dead gorgeous, she's beautiful. Yeah man, but I'm married. I'm not trying to lose what I have that I love, that is permanent, for somebody who's temporary. Please look over here without any claps. That's just a feeling. A 42-year-old man in Sacramento, California, busted up his whole family for 2 years of feelings. My son plays soccer with his son. I give his ex-wife credit. She forgave him. Moved on. True forgiveness is when you stop wishing that the past was different. Because the past ain't gonna be different. I want to say it again about these feelings. Feelings are so important. Feelings do tell you the truth. They don't always tell you the truth. Motivation is temporary. Last assembly, some people walked out of here, they were inspired. To inspire is to create change. I had teachers inspire me. There are people who inspired me. And you know what? All these seniors come May, they're going to be so excited. They're going to be so happy. They can't wait to graduate. I spoke to 25,000 seniors last spring, and it just cracked me up. Oh, man, I'm so excited. Why are you excited? Because you graduated? Yeah, my life don't get better. Teachers, you can't say this because you're under contract. You can't say it. Your life don't get better. Why is your life don't get better? This is the senior thinking, we're out of here. We don't gotta listen to you. We don't gotta be around these people. We're out of here. Well, let me give you some data. Remember elementary school? We couldn't wait to get to middle school. We were like, oh, we going to middle school. We're gonna be playing dodgeball on steroids. It's gonna be so cool. The first thing the middle school did was take away our freedom. Nope. When's recess? You get no more recess. You were like, you know what? Take away my freedom. I can't wait to go to the high school. Oh, we going to the high school. Oh, it's gonna be cool. There's gonna be some honeys up there. It's gonna be cool. As soon as you got to high school, English class, you sitting in class bored. Dang. 17 are in their little cubicles in college right now, sitting around like this. Dang. Why are they doing that? Because they figured this out. Nothing changes but you. Please look over here. People love progress, but they don't want change. How can you have change? How can you have progress if you don't have some change? My daughter, when I say pray for me, she's been giving me attitude. She's in high school, she gives me attitude. You know what my wife said to me? She said, come here. I said, do you see how she's talking to me? She goes, you know what? I hear you at all these schools speaking, and I hear you talk about change. Cambria is changing. And I'm like, she need to know who she's talking to. And my wife goes, hey, if she can't find her voice in this home, how's she gonna find her voice outside this home? Change. I'm like, dang, that's cold. Please look over here, let me say it again. I think some students walked out of here last assembly. And I think some part of their lives was changed, not because of me. If I'm out in Oklahoma and they got 4,500 students from 10th grade to 12th grade, but they don't want to break up the school because they winning all these state championships, you look at it and say, that's not healthy. Because it's all about athletics. What I'm saying is this. Something needs to change. Change is coming. What I was most impressed with at this school last assembly was not the grades. It is not your IQ as much as your I will. And one day you're going to go like this. Seniors and juniors, you probably already heard this. Somebody going to look at you, they're going to be mad. They're going to be like frustrated. And they're going to say something that's not true. They're going to say this. You just wait till you get to the real world. And you're going to go like this. Dang, that's cold. You ain't going to say anything because it's going to be your parents. If your parents were here, and I wish they were, we got them on camera, so maybe they'll see it. If a parent ever say, wait till you get to the real world, I look at the parent and I say this. Wait till they get to the real world? Do that mean that the decisions they make right now are fake? Is that what you're saying? Leigh High School, please look over here. No, the decisions you make right now are real. So guess what? This is the real world. But you gotta manage some of this stuff. You know what? When I say it wasn't your IQ as much as your I will, you know what I was surprised about when I came in here? I stood right here, I stood right there, and I saw people willing to focus. I saw people willing not to talk. I saw people who were willing to be respectful. I saw people, I called people out of the audience and they came up here. They were willing to come up here. I saw young men come up here and they were very mature. I saw people, I saw teachers willing to participate. I'm saying to you again, and I'll say it over and over again. It is not your IQ as much as your I will. I got smart kids at home. But check this out. If they ain't willing to treat their family right, if they're not willing to be there for their friends, if they're not willing to ask for forgiveness, if they're not willing to stand up in a school where nobody else will stand up, if they're not willing to speak up for those who can't speak for themselves, if they're not willing to use their platform to help other people, if they're not willing, if my 3 kids are not willing to do that, what does that make me? They're already smart. It ain't about that. It's about will. Are you willing to handle what I'm about to say? Because it ain't going to be easy. Look at the person on either side of you. Look at that person and say these words. Say, I hope you're ready. Wait, look at him again and say these words. I don't get ready, I stay ready. Let them know.
Stay ready.
Once it, everybody clap once. Please clap twice. My first message to you is this. Can we stop being so normal? Can we stop being the same? Can we just be who we were created? Be the people. When I'm saying normal, what I'm really saying is this. Remember when you guys were younger and nobody was normal? Remember we were all cool? You remember when someone said, wipe your nose, and you were a little kid, you looked at them like, why would I go get tissue when I have my sleeve? Remember when you were little, someone said, wipe your nose, and you looked at it like this. It looked like a glazed donut. Remember nobody cared what you dressed like when you went to school when you were younger? You had little white stuff on your sleeve called the snail trail because you wiped your nose. Remember you thought everybody was your friend? You came home like, Daddy, I met this kid. What kid? That kid over there. What about him? He's my friend. And your parents like, you ain't gonna never see him again. Don't remember when you were kids. Remember this? Remember this? Everybody remember this when you were younger? So I'm in South San Francisco, I had a young lady in front of me, she goes, what is that? 5 guys in the back said, that's a car. One kid was like this, Hot Wheels. Remember elementary school? Come on, California. Remember elementary school with the pole with the yellow ball? What was that game called? The pole with the yellow ball. Tetherball! Remember we all made a dance out of tetherball? Boom! Hey! Remember some of y'all tried to kill him, but he used to hit you back in the face? Teachers, everybody, kickball. Y'all remember kickball, the big red ball, look at the 2 kindergartners? Hey, you know you remember when you remember this. Back up. Back up. Get deep. Why? He can kick. Remember this? Get close. Get closer. Why? He can't kick. Remember dodgeball was the only time we could hit somebody and not be called a bully? Remember, I know everybody remember the kid used to run. Ah! Only got hit when they turned around. Ah! Walked up to the PE teacher. Ah! Teacher like, what's wrong? The kid's like, ah! What did the teacher say? Get back in there. The teacher was like, get back in there. The kid was like, I'm hurt. Time out. They knew we were hurt. They couldn't hit us. They loved it. I'm hurt. Yes, you are. That's a friendly game of dodgeball. Had a retired teacher email me after he was retired and say this. We told you to come to our school and talk to the students about how they treat each other. You're up there talking about being little kids. Emailed him back. Said this. The reason why I was talking about them when they were little kids, because when they were little kids, they didn't need a speech. Because when they were little kids, they didn't see race. When they were little kids, they didn't see gender. When they were little kids, they didn't compare themselves the way they did when I saw your school. Because I came to your high school and I see students comparing themselves with other people. In Leigh High School, you don't realize this. Whenever you compare yourself with somebody, somebody's going to end up better and somebody's going to end up less in their head. How do you know? Well, there's people at the school walking around thinking they're better, and they're not. Unfortunately, there's people walking around the school acting like they're less, treated like they're less, and they're not. We just keep comparing. And it's not just students, it's all these adults in here, including Keith Hawkins. Don't like my body right now. Looking at other people who's in shape. People don't like the way they look. People comparing how smart. Listen to the seniors when they get their schools. I'm going to this school. Oh, I'm going to this school. Oh, I'm going to this school. Oh, I'm going to this school. And all it is comparing athletic ability. I got athletes at home. So what? If you're playing a sport, if you're active, if you're out there and you're doing it and you're having fun, who cares what your skill level is? At least you have something to do. Now you have something to hope for. People keep comparing. And all I'm saying is this. They compare where they live. They compare what their parents do. They compare their parents. The little girl at my house, Kate, she likes me because I'm not her dad. I came in that room, made him some food that night, walked out, and I heard her go like this to Caitlin. Kate, but your dad is cool. And I was out in the hallway, I was like, yeah, that's right. Then I heard her say this, I wish my dad was like him. I rolled back in there to the room. I said, Kate, don't say that. She goes like this, you heard me? I said, I pay the bills. I hear everything. I said, Kate, don't compare me to your dad. You got a good dad. She goes, Mr. Hawkins, my dad would never treat me the way you treat Cambria. So I said this. Kate, last week I was in Thousand Oaks, California. There's a young man who got up in the second assembly and spoke. I asked him to speak. He said, I can speak about it if it helps. Young man gets up in front of his half his school, 1,500 people, and he said, y'all don't know me. I just came to this school 3 months ago. The reason why I came to this school is because about 8 months ago, my mom and dad went to a happy hour, but they didn't get drunk. Unfortunately, on the 101, when they were coming home, they got into a major accident. I don't know if you guys heard about it. But my mom died in that car accident. And my dad was going to court for the last 3 months. He's in jail right now for manslaughter. He was in front of the school, facing the school, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and he goes like this. The reason why I came here, the second assembly, is because ever since I've been at this school, all I do is hear people complain. He goes, I even hear you guys complain about your mom and dad. I wish I had what you don't want, because I ain't getting my mom back. My dad's in jail. So I looked at this freshman, I said, Kate, because in high school nobody talks to anybody but their friends, we don't compare. When I grew up, this is gonna sound super foreign, because I grew up in a very violent area in Los Angeles, where all we cared about was survival, and all we cared about was security, and every time I got ran home from bullies, if I didn't turn around and punch them in the mouth, they would keep chasing me. Now you might look at me and go, wow, how could you, wow, why would you? You don't know that life. That is a culture. But instead of pointing one finger at that culture, because 3 fingers are pointing back at our culture, let's look at yours. Let me ask you why. Why do you have anxiety? Why are you scared? Why do you have all these friends, but deep down inside feel like you're alone? Why don't you feel like you're good enough? Why don't you feel accepted? You come from great family. Why do you feel so much pressure? Why would you feel like taking your life for something that is temporary? It's just part of the culture. But let me help you. Let me help you. You don't got to compare yourself with anybody at this school. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, maybe you can understand this. Sometimes as parents, we might compare you with your sibling. Why don't you be more like your brother? Why don't you be like your sister? Your sister did it so you could do it. Your brother did it so you could do it. Why don't you be more like your friends? And that's why you don't want to invite certain people over your house, because you know your parents are comparing. Why don't you be more like this? Let me share this with you if you haven't heard it yet. You don't compare with anybody. Everybody has a gift. I'm not saying that to motivate you. I'm saying it because I come from nothing. I was in a classroom hating other kids because I felt that they had something I didn't. I had hate in me for other people because I was comparing. You have a dad, you have a stable home. 11:30 last night, my dog is barking. I come outside, I see somebody with a flashlight. We live in a beautiful neighborhood, and we've been seeing cars driving around, casing everybody home Christmas time. I got a big old Rottweiler. I get in my car, I put him in the car, we go to find the person with the flashlight. Sure enough, this little girl, 12 years old, walking around like this. I said, "Are you okay?" "Oh, I'm fine." "Let me help you." "I'm okay." Went back, woke my wife up. I said, "You need to get in the car. There's a little girl out there. She's by herself. She's scared. I don't want to go up to her by myself. Get in the car." 11:30 last night, my wife got in the car. We drove up on this little girl. Her mom and dad jumped out of this truck, pulled her in there. We said, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "We're fine." She got into the truck and went back to their big old home, and everything looks perfect on the outside. But on the inside, they're struggling. Everybody at this school struggles. It ain't a race, it ain't a gender, it's not where they live, it's not where they come from, it's called life, and it's okay to struggle. I got a guy looking around like, "Who's buying this?" I'm not selling it. I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to be alone and feel like nobody cares and nobody gets you, because that is not the truth. I had a young man come up to me last assembly. What happens if you're not happy and you're alone? I said, "You need to get yourself around some people at this school so they can remind you how important you are to us. What our lives would be like without you. If you stopped." Had a young man come up here last assembly, told him to pick out one person who's been there for you. You pick this kid out. Sitting right over there, he came up here. I said, "If you had 30 seconds to tell him how much you care about him, what would you say?" 30 seconds. He shared his heart, told him how much he cared about him, and then I said, "Do you love him?" He goes, Yes, I care about him." If you are ever unhappy, please get around us so we can remind you of how important you are. And that's just one P. Look at the person on either side of you. Look at the person on either side of you. If you understand what I'm saying about the comparing, if you understand about that, if you ever felt that, look at the person on either side of you with a deep voice and go like this, go, "Oh yeah." Here we go, clap once. Clap twice. Please look over here. When I said don't be normal, be yourself. Be a little abnormal. If you understand that, look at the person on either side of you and go, "Oh yeah." Okay, here we go. Clap once. Clap twice. Watch this. 700 sixth graders sat on the floor and listened to me. I was done. I was getting my stuff. Little sixth grader walks up to me, Denver, Colorado. He goes, "Mr. Hawkins." And nobody was there. I said, "Hey man, you need to get to class. Where's your teacher?" He goes, "I got away." I said, "Okay." I said, "Man, you need to go back to class. Let me get my stuff." He goes, "I got a question." I said, "Ask the question, but then you gotta go." He goes, "Why'd you make us sit on the floor?" I said, "No, man, your teachers did that. I was just here speaking." He goes, "I got butt lock." I said, "Okay." I got my stuff. I'm about to leave. He goes, "You don't even know what butt lock is." I said, "Okay." I just kept walking. Grown man, little kid, he's talking about butt lock. I'm still walking, right? He's recruited 2 other little kids out of class. I'm walking down one of his hallways. He goes, "You don't even know what butt lock." 2 kids in the back are like, "Yeah!" So I'm walking, and they're so loud. I know a teacher gonna come out. So I turn around. I said, "Hey man, y'all need to go back to class." I said, "And what is butt lock?" He went from laughing to smiling. His vein popped out. He got all serious. He goes, "We had to sit down." I said, "You're in 6th grade." He goes, "We had to listen." I said, "You better watch yourself." He goes, "As soon as we stood up, half our butt cheek fell asleep." I said, "Butt cheek. I said, boy, that is not called butt lock. That's called issues. You got issues. I'm walking away, a teacher comes out. Sure enough, she goes, why are you guys out of class? And then they're pointing at me, they're like, I said, ma'am, they've been out of class since the assembly. I was about to go up to the office. I said, I was not with these kids. I said, but I got to ask you, can I talk to you real quick because something's going on? She goes, what's wrong? I said, there's a problem with one of the kids. She goes, which one? I said, the one over there wearing all black. He said this to me. She goes, what did he say? I couldn't even get it out. The kid goes like this in front of the teacher. You ever tried walking with black blood? I said, man, in front of your teacher? He goes, I had to chase you down and go, come on, booty. He started walking like this. I was about to report it. I was going to report it, but I didn't want to miss my flight. As soon as I got back to Sacramento, I laughed because I figured out what he was saying. I think what he's saying is this. Because of our age, we always get adults to try to tell us what to do. What about it? What about it? Parents speak to us, teachers speak to us, people like you come to the school. I look at him like this, and he looked at me like this, and we don't even remember what you say. Oh no, teachers don't want to be here, some of them. Why? Because you won't remember what I say. There's some students right now, you're so conditioned to working in class, you feel like this is a waste of time. You know what that 11-year-old really is saying? Here's what he's really saying, which is sad. People don't follow what people say. People just follow what people do. Mr. Hawkins, they ain't gonna follow what you say. They're gonna walk out of this gym after 45 minutes and they're just gonna follow what people do. You ever see people be mean? Hang out with other people who are being mean? 2 weeks ago, I'm at this leadership conference. I was done having lunch, eating their free pizza. I called a young lady up, blonde hair, young lady came up. I said, in front of the whole conference, I said, we're gonna play a game called Hot Hands. She goes, what is that? I said, you gonna stick your hands out like this, I'm gonna put my hands under yours, I'm gonna try to hit yours. She goes, is it gonna hurt? I said, yeah. She goes, how about we do it this way? We'll play hot hands, but let's go with the longest hair first. I said, oh, you trying to be funny? She goes, no. Longest hair hands under the bottom, shortest hair on the top, and we can play that way. She hit me so hard. I mean, this girl hit me. I mean, my kid's gonna come off lunch. She hit me hard. And afterwards, she was having lunch. We're all having lunch. She was right in front of me, and I heard her go like this. I got rid of my social media. I turned into a dad. I said, hey, why'd you, she wasn't even talking to me. I was like, why? She goes, oh, people making fake accounts, sending me messages. I'm old, I don't even know what that is. I mean, I listen to AM radio, I like the landscape, and I got Facebook. So when she said it, I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, people sending me mean messages thinking they're funny. So I got rid of it. I said, what'd they say? She goes, I got too much respect for you to tell you. It's all right. So I started talking to Miss J. She was sitting next to me. 15 minutes go by. It was bothering me. I looked at her. I said, what did they say on these messages? Finally got out of her. She's curled up with her friend. And she goes, people keep calling me fat. That upset me. Because in the last couple of weeks that I've mentioned that, I've looked in the audience and I've seen guys smile about it. Kind of laugh about it. Looking at their friends because they think it's funny. That's somebody's daughter. She said she don't even want to come to school anymore. The worst 3 weeks of her life, because Miss J was out because she was sick for 3 weeks. She goes, it was the worst 3 weeks of my life. Just happened. Funny comes at other people's expense. Funny is when people are laughing but somebody's not laughing. Funny is when morally you want to say something to somebody because they're being funny, but you're too scared to say something because you think they'll get on you. Funny hurts other people. And the reason why I'm getting passionate right now, first of all, passion comes from purpose. Now that I got purpose, I realize this. When I was younger, wearing the same clothes all the time, when my clothes used to smell all the time, when we were house hopping, living at different homes, and all these kids were laughing and teasing me, what I figured out was this. They were doing it because they were so insecure. They wanted to be accepted, so they thought if they make fun of me, then people at the school will accept them. Didn't even realize if you don't even accept yourself, why would somebody accept you? I looked at this young lady curl up in her friend's arms that much, and she started to cry. She goes, they say that I shouldn't even be here. My life shouldn't even be here. Yeah, that's me. And you know what's crazy? There are people who will follow that. Prove me wrong. Y'all prove me wrong. I just claim that this kid is really saying people don't follow what you say, they follow what you do. Everybody look over here, prove me wrong. Please do exactly what I say. Let's see if that's true. Put your right hand up in the air just like this. Only if you have on deodorant, okay? Put your right hand up, there it is, there it is. Start going like this, start going like this. Keep it going, don't take it there. I see some of y'all going like this. Go back this way because you're amazed. Wait for teachers. Good, keep it going. We go this way, look up here. Cool. Keep it going real quick. Put it right under your chin. Cool. Good. Look at the person on either side of you. Awesome. Is that your chin? Good job. Is that your chin? If that's your chin, that's some serious stuff. Brother, when I left home, we call this the chin. The chin is down here. Wait, hands down, hands down. You guys are so cool. I said, put your hands up. You guys are so nice. You're looking at me like this. You got it. Usually when I come to California, I'm like, put your hands up. Kids look at you like, you put your hands up. Leigh High School, you guys gonna get paid. You can follow direction. I'm like, put your hands up. You're like, you got it. But then I saw some of the adults look at me like this. What point is he trying to make now? I saw some students look at me like this. Oh man, this is stupid. And I said, put it under your chin. You should have saw you guys. You look at me like this. This is still stupid. Then I said, is that your chin? You're like, I saw some students go like this. Hey. I even saw some teachers go like this. Is that your chin? That's good. Let me say it again. People don't follow what people say. They follow what people do. Let me see if that's true. Raise your hand if your parents work. Keep looking around. Look around. Cool. Hands down. Raise your hand if it feels like all they do is work. Raise it high because you have great deodorant. Okay. Hands down. Raise your hand if it feels like all you do is work in school. Raise it high because you have great deodorant. Look to your left, look to your right, hands down. Raise your hand if your parents are ever short with you, if they're ever short with you. They're very, okay, hands down. Raise your hands if your parents look stressed out. Okay, hands down. Raise your hand if you lose your patience. You ever lose your patience? Okay, hands down. Raise your hand if people at this school make you tired sometimes. Sometimes you get tired. Okay, hands down. Raise your hand, be honest, be honest. Raise your hands if sometimes you come to school, you stressed out. Okay, wait, hands down. A girl just looked at me like this. She just did this to me. And I'm looking at her like, what does that mean? She's looking at me like this. Stressed out. Mr. Hawkins, most people in this gym at some point has been stressed out. Why do you say that? Maybe we don't follow what they say. Maybe we're stressed out because we follow what they do. You gotta balance that. I'm gonna call this young man up here and I saw him. And I just think he's pretty cool because he kind of reminds me of my son. I got two little boys. I got a 12-year-old named Jalen. They call him Jayhawk because that's sick. Then I got Brendan, my third grader. We call him Mr. B because he acts like he owns the house, but he don't pay rent. He's a showstopper, Mr. B. So when I call this young man up here, who kind of reminds me of my son, please give him the same respect. My brother. Got the faux hawk, look like it's going on right here. Looking at me like, oh no, why you pick me? I don't even know what grade you're in. Can you come out here, bro? Can we get this young man? I don't know who he is, man, I love your energy. I've watched you over here. Come on over here, man. What's your, God, Jalen wants some. He's like, Daddy, did you get my sweats? Did you get my sweats? Daddy, did you get my shoes? What's your name?
Jacob.
Jacob, what grade?
Sophomore.
A big kid, dude. Doing big. You play any sports?
Yeah, basketball.
No, you don't. Do you? Really? Okay. Check this. You ever come to Hardwood Palace? Up in Rockland? You ever come to Germantown? Yeah, okay. Make me look good, baby. Make me look good. So he's been to Germantown, he's been to Hardwood. I'm gonna say this. You kind of remind me of my son. Same look, same everything, just a good kid. I want to share something with them, and you just tell me how you feel about it, okay? Last year, Jalen was ranked number 7 for 12U basketball and AAU, which doesn't mean a lot, but he was ranked number 7. He's a 6th grader. When he was in 6th grade last year, I made him try out for an 8th grade Cobra team. He made it. So the next day I had to go to work, so I couldn't take him to practice, so my wife took him. Then I called her and I said this, how was the practice? She goes, he didn't go. And I freaked out. He didn't go? What do you mean he didn't go? If he don't go to the practice, they'll pin him off that team. That team's like the best team in Northern California. Those kids were all over. Why didn't he go? She goes, he doesn't want to play for that team because he said, that's just one more thing you're going to pressure him with. I said, why didn't he tell me that? And my wife said, he's scared of you. So, I'm going to go real fast so this young man can sit down, but let me tell you this. The one thing I wanted to be in my life is a great dad, not a good dad. The reason why I want to be a great dad is because when I was in 3rd grade, I came home, my mom was sitting on the floor, and she was crying in the kitchen with her back against the cupboards. 3rd grade, I walked in there, I said, why are you crying? She goes, just go to your room. I said, what happened? She goes, I got to do everything on my own. I said, where's my dad? She goes, Keith, he wants nothing to do with us. Go to your room. 3 years later, she hooked up with a man. When she hooked up with this guy, she ended up marrying him. But he talked her into getting rid of me. They gave me to the state of California. He was in the house with my little sister. He was abusing her when I was gone. When I came back into the home, he was in charge. He was putting hands on my mom. He was sexually abusing my sister. And my mom wasn't believing it. My room was right next to their room. And every time he was beating on them, I'd hear him go like this, I'm sorry. He'd take our rent money and smoke it up. He'd leave for 3 or 4 or 5 days at a time. And he'd come back and I hear him tell my mom, he's sorry. When I got to Jacob age, one day I looked at him and I said, hey man, my mom loves you. If you're so sorry, why don't you change? Sorry don't change behavior. If you're so sorry, why don't you change? Leigh High School, we should not be sorry to a friend, we should be better to them. We should be sorry to a teacher, we should be better. We should be sorry to our family, we should be better. We're not even sorry people. He's sorry. Not you. Sorry doesn't change behavior. Only actions do. When you leave this school, when you graduate, you're going to see somebody in here when you're an adult, and the ones you treated bad, you're going to see them, and something inside of you is going to want to make you say sorry, and they're going to look at you like this. I don't even remember what you did to me, but I can tell you how you made me feel. And sorry ain't going to help that. Couldn't even come home, couldn't even hug him, couldn't even love him, couldn't even tell him that, you know what, it's going to be different. I had to FaceTime him the next morning. As soon as I FaceTimed him, I said, Jalen, he goes, yeah, Daddy. I said, Mommy told me you didn't go to practice. That boy was so scared, he looked at me like this. She told you? I said, she told me that you don't want to be on that team because that's just one more thing I'm going to pressure you with. I said, Jalen, I am not sorry for the way I treated you. I am not going to be the dad to say I'm sorry and do it again. Jalen, look me in the eyes right now. I will be better. From this day on, I am not going to put that pressure on you. Leigh High School, it was so hard. I was in the audience, I was in the stands, and I watched him play basketball. The next time, he did 50 things right, he did 3 things wrong, and all I can remember was the 3 things. And I wanted to say something, but I zipped it. As soon as he came off the court with his head down. I said, what's wrong? He goes, I didn't shoot when I was supposed to shoot. I said, man, it's okay. Just have fun. Play ball. He's on the football field, fastest kid on the football team, running slow because he had pads on. I could see him running slow. He comes out of the game. He goes, I should have ran faster. I said, Jayhawk, don't worry about it, bro. Just have fun. Soccer, track. Before this young man speaks, let me just tell you this. Let go of things that are temporary at some point. Hold on to things that are permanent. Basketball, temporary. That football is temporary. That soccer is temporary. My son, he's permanent. So here we go. I didn't even know what you were wearing, dude, but when you came out, you looked exactly like Jayhawk. How's your relationship with your dad?
It's really good. He like pushes me really hard to play basketball and training and all that.
Sometimes is it too much?
Yeah, sometimes he does it hard.
Are you ever scared of him?
Yes.
Do you know he loves you?
Yes.
Oh, I love this kid. Can you please look over here because you don't know this yet? Do your parents love you? They will die for you. They love you. We're weird. Sometimes we don't get it. We keep telling you when we were kids. But it's coming from a good place. Here's what I want to ask you though. How many of you in here, by the raise of hands, could leave this school today if you're nervous, if you're scared, if you feel pressure from your parents? How many of you in here can have the courage to have that conversation with the people who love you more than anything? How many of you in here can go up to a parent and say, I heard a speaker today. He talked about pressure that is put on. He talked about peer pressure is comparing, but then he talked about parent pressure. If you feel that, if you've ever felt it, raise your hand if you think you have the courage to talk to your parents about that so they know that they can help you. Raise your hand if you have that courage to do it. Raise it high because you have great, okay, hands down. Raise your hand if you're scared. You're like, I'm just scared to do it. It's hard. Okay, here we go. Hands down. Before he walks off, let me just say this. I know you're scared.
It's okay to be scared. I'm scared to speak to you, but I'm up here anyway. I'm scared to come to this school, but I came here anyway. Oh, I've been scared before. I've been by myself before. And I would say this, even if you're scared, have the courage to say something to your parents. Because you know why? My relationship with Jalen is better than it's ever been. Just to know that he was scared to talk to me about the pressure has made me realize it ain't about the success. It's about being fulfilled. And your son ain't gonna never feel fulfilled if you just don't love on him for who he is. Support him. If your dad was here right now and knowing how much you care about him, how much you love him, if you had 20 seconds to tell your dad how important he is to you, what would you say to him? Beautiful smile.
I would just say, like, thank you for just pushing me hard about basketball in school, because it's always on me, and then just how much I love him, just all the hard work he puts in for me and all the time he's spending on me.
What do you guys think about this young man? Can we give a big round of applause? Big round of applause. Let me end with this. Everybody clap once. Please clap twice. I'll end with this. This canister right here represents a human being. This canister has scratches on it. It has dents in it. It doesn't mean the human being is struggling. It means that the human being is living. Let me say it again. Leigh High School. Everyone at this school are not just students, but we're students with lives. We should respect that. On the inside of this canister, there's water. If the water represents what's good about someone, their dreams, their hope, their faith, their future, their education, their real friends, the memories they create, their struggle, their happiness. All I'm trying to say to you is this. It's not easy for any of us. So why make it harder for them? Everybody at this school is trying to do their best. Teachers, staff, students. But it ain't easy. Sometimes people forget about the dream, lose hope, stop caring, feel lonely. And that's why I came here today to say this. If we can stop looking on the outside for every answer in our life, start looking on the inside of who we are, the first thing you're going to realize is this. There's no quit in you. The best is yet to come. It's not motivating. I'm telling you the truth. Things are changing. But keep changing. Stop looking on the outside for answers. Don't judge it on the outside. Look on the inside. Everybody at this school has a dream. Everybody at this school has a gift. But some of us don't even see it because we're comparing. We don't need to do that anymore. Just be you. Talk to those who love you. Let us remind you how important you are, how much we care about you. Even with family. FF. Family first. It's nothing like family. Have the courage. Talk to them. Just be you. You know, I got people over here looking at me like, wait a minute! The cup! If there's water in that cup! Oh no, there's always hope. There's always hope. And you know what's crazy? This is an illusion. This is not real. You know what's real? How you feel about his dad. You know what's real? How you feel about your friends. You know what's real? How you feel about yourself. This is an illusion. Your life is real. Take care of it. For reals.
Wait a minute, put your right hand up in the air, make this circle. It's not a gang sign, just do it. Don't do it in Long Beach, here we go. Put it under your chin. Look at, I hear you guys over here going, you're not gonna get me twice, boy. Hands down, clap once. Let me leave you with a quote. Most of y'all did this morning. Now you're doing this. Bring it.
Remember the quote. The biggest room in the world is room for improvement. Why we took you out of class. Hopefully you walk out of here not prepared. Why'd you take me out of class? Hopefully you know it's not just academics. Why'd you take me out of class? Talk to your family. Why'd you take me out of class? Because you're somebody, man. We need you. Be good to each other. Right hand up over your left shoulder. Never been here before. Family, you're the best. Thank you for having me. You guys have been amazing. Thank you.
Oh, we're doing something different.
Let's give Keith Hawkins another big round of applause.